All right, this is for Amanda and Irene. I am just going over the class we did today and adding a little extra. So we do not need this, so I'm going to scoot this to the side. And we did use the box. And Irene, you mentioned the Pilates circle. So maybe we'll pull that into the video since I know that you have that at home. And just a reminder, we did use the box. So I'm gonna have that nearby because we'll be using it. So to begin class, we did a red for the side bend. You could do this on a blue. And because it was early in the morning, we started with feet on the floor, making sure that the knees squeeze, and then working really hard on anchoring the opposite hip down and broadening across chest and shoulder, kind of avoiding the big push through the arm, instead reaching both arms long away from one another so that spine can grow tall along the wall while going through the stretch. And I'm doing my best job to anchor the hip down so both sitting bones are level and keeping our reach through all 10 fingertips, crown of the head. And then adding a twist, belly squeezes. Irene, I noticed that you held the bar. That is a good option for kind of doing a tug of war here. Or you could reach both arms longer. So just choose which one you want because they're both good. The main thing is there's a squeeze in the belly to deepen the twist. And then we return. So we're gonna do a few more, and it does feel good to kind of do that tug of war, letting the carriage scoop from belly squeezing, and return, and last one, and return. So right away, just switching sides. So I'm gonna let my legs, maybe using a little abs to get those legs to float over, and then hand onto the bar. I'm really particular that people don't side bend right away, that there's first a reach, that shoulder shrug down, and crown of the head reaches, then going into the side bend and rolling shoulder back and down. Maybe check the knees occasionally, seeing that they don't fall apart, that the legs keep a little squeeze of feet and legs together, and feeling that the shoulders are shrugging away from the ears, even in the side bend. On this side, for me, it's a little bit more dicier because this is where my right side's just a little bit more sensitive and low back. So, just take your time because we're addressing the body with a lot of TLC. So then either reaching fingertips more or a little tug of war that belly squeezes. Both are good. There's not a harder one, so it's just which one you feel more connected. And we'll do two more. Kind of stretching out side body, spine, seeing a carriage can drift out, and then rolling up, and then shifting back out. Now, in class, we right away went to the box and did that pretty hard work, but I'm gonna switch it up a little bit so we get spinal extension before that. So maybe at home, so I'm gonna start, and actually there's so many ways we could do this, but so if, I'm gonna take my right hand onto headrest and my right heel onto bar. We did this with right heel onto bar and left hand onto headrest. It's a little more staggered, so just make sure the hips are level. Anyhow, just do which one you like. There's a slight difference. I'll go to what we did. So it was left hand on headrest and right heel onto bar. And the main thing is that making sure hips are square, chest is square, shoulders level, and ribs tipped in, and squeezing through the belly to brace belly away from knees, deepening that squeeze. So just a reminder, this is really light for leg work. It's not leg work, it's bracing abs to keep hips level and shoulders level. If there's leg work, it's to reach the leg long out of the hip while keeping the hips square, feeling like the hips are narrow in a shoebox. And then reaching out, squeezing through waist, feeling that belly zip to send the carriage out. And then we're gonna take the left arm forward and just kind of having to manage more where the shoulders stay broad, the arms aren't helping the scoot of the carriage, the left knee isn't helping, and tailbone stretching towards back wall, crown of the head reaching towards front roll, while chest forward, ribs and belly squeezing. So I'm gonna keep the reach. My gaze is forward and down to keep my neck soft so that I'm not wrinkling in the neck. And then just little pulses, belly pulling in, and it's not pushing out, so my shoulders staying still, but kind of gliding the arm up a wall. 3, where the aim of that chest can go with that reach. 2, and 1. And I don't want my carriage moving then because my knee would be trying to help to scoop the carriage. So these need to come down. I put them on the floor, but I might step on them later. So I'm gonna just get off for a second. Set them someplace safe. So again, you can play around which hand is on the headrest. This one's a little bit easier to hold because there's no hardware here as far as straps and everything. So I'm gonna go left heel into bar, so it's opposite. The right hand forward. And then here I gotta make sure my shoulders are square. So the aim of my chest is right through. And then I might wanna just check that my knee isn't so far in that my abs don't have to work as hard. And we're gonna send that carriage out. And then at first I just wanna make sure my chest can stay square, my hips narrow in a shoebox, hips level. So heel digging a lot because that will help the reach of tailbone. And it'll help lengthen the back side of the leg. So my leg feels like a rubber band's getting taut in the back of the leg from sits bone to heel or hip to heel. And I'm gonna add the reach, and this side's harder for me because I explained I'm just a little more disconnected on that right side, and so that right side's having to figure out how to stabilize better. So I'm gonna do 2 more, and I don't want wrinkles in my neck. I wanna squeeze, brace through abs and ribs so that diaphragm, pelvic floor is working. And then I think that was more than 2. Last one, I'm gonna pulse it out, and it's not my carriage. It's belly bracing off of knees, not my knee holding the carriage, but pushing down. 1, 2, 3, then return. And it should feel challenging in kind of an energetic way so that we're working spinal extension. It won't be challenging on the leg. So moving on, this is really good time to bring out that box. So I'm gonna put, and we did a yellow spring because that's gonna be easy enough for all the things that we have, not having to change the springs enough, but staying challenging when the form's put into it. So rotation was first. If the rotation's too hard, you help the strap because we're isolating rotation inside of the shoulder socket. And sometimes the wrist likes to help out by rolling open and then the rotation. So ask that the wrist not help, it stay flat, it's bracing. And then both shoulder heads feeling rolled open to shrug down away from the ears and staying down from the ears. If I want to make this harder, I'm going to stop right in front of my elbow because then I'll know that I'm controlling the strap in and then rotating out, and it's still external rotation to control and then more external rotation to go out. Notice my elbow's not moving. Using a reaching crown of the head. Then just holding and breathing if the carriage is moving. This is where we kind of find out if we're doing the right work. And then little pulses. 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then I'm using this corner as kind of like Okay, that's how far I want to twist, is all the way over to the corner. But it doesn't mean dropping the head down. It's keeping ribs level, squeezing belly and away from knees to stay light in that low back. So this would be a good time to use the circle if you have one, because the circle will help keep the shape of the arms. Remember, the circle doesn't need to be a squeeze of anything except for maybe the ribs knitting in the back, like in the underside of that circle. So I'm going to twist and maybe pushing that circle enough to upright my chest because I'm kind of falling back. So pushing that circle to just stay more upright through the body, squeezing clamshell legs together, having a little peek down through the armpit so my arms aren't doing the twist but the body is, and then twisting through the spine and being sure, like on this yellow spring, there's no need to do a big twist because that's going to be the arms. So actually slow it down, keep the tension on the strap even the whole time. So even tension, keep that even tension, and that's going to be a little more work because it's meaning that the arms aren't pulling the strap. It's truly coming from the spine rotating so that the box drags underneath us to peak. And you can use that corner of the box as just something to gauge of going into a deeper twist and then return. So I'm using that corner of the box to see if I can go a little bit deeper in the twist just because it gives me a marker of where to go. And then the touch of the circle. Okay, I'm going to do just one more. My legs are trying to match. And then last one. And then that corner, little pulses and ribs pulling in underneath that circle for 3, 2, last one, maybe pressing that circle into the ribs for 3, using that chest upright, 2, 1, and then return. Okay, so no more circle. You could use it for that side bend actually. So I'll show the option if you want to just continue with it, because it's going to mean that the arm has to stabilize more. So we're going in a side bend, and we're having to lift up through right side to pull elbow up higher and roll right shoulder down. So it's my right shoulder. In the camera, it might look like left shoulder, I think. I think that everything switches when it's in camera. So at least that's what it appears like. But shoulder head's rolling open and reaching up, 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 up. And if I use the circle, it's kind of creating a direct press, because if I don't have a direct press, that circle will tip over. So that's helping the shoulders feel broad. And I want to keep the thighs squeezing together so big toes can touch the whole time. And last one, little punches to the sky. 3, shoulders resting away from ears in each one. 2, 1, and return. And then getting rid of the circle just to show it could either be fist, it could be palm. Kind of matters where you can keep opposite hip down and lifting through the waist. So if I go this low, can I lift through my waist? Like this would be an example. If not, this is, because my shoulder head's rolling open, at least I'm trying to. So reaching up, 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 I'm going to tap that circle away. And here, I'm really trying to weight through my opposite hip. I'm not trying to power my arm. I'm actually delaying the pull of my arm so that chest and shoulder can roll open more and waist lift up. And then option is you could roll your gaze with chest opening, roll your gaze down, or you could keep your gaze up the whole time. The key is that the neck feels good. So that chest staying nice and open the whole time will help the neck feel okay with that movement, like mine doesn't. So I'm gonna drop the gaze. It feels okay if I have the gaze down and roll up, and then drop the gaze down and roll up. That's just personal, that's how my body feels, but doesn't mean someone else might have better memory in their neuromuscular to not like trigger any tightness in the neck. So key is that neck shouldn't feel tight. So if it is, do drop the gaze, because muscularly it'll be better to train the one that knows how to relax. Before we switch sides, so we're not switching anything yet. We're just taking the front strap, so not turning around yet. And so this one was one that it seemed like we were having trouble with understanding what the shape was. So that tug that doesn't pull on the strap. So trying to keep the shape and still rolling shoulder heads back and down. So belly squeezing, and legs can feel heavy to the floor, head floating up to the ceiling. And then last one. And if I wanted more control, then the range would be smaller. So when I go this inch and out, it's more control, so it's actually harder. Depends what you're going for. Are you going for range of motion? Then do the bigger one. If you want to feel the muscles stabilize for control, then you're going to do the smaller one. Maybe you have time for both. But either way, we're going to reach out. Now we are going into small movements because it's pulses at our end range. So we take the strap as far as we can without changing the shape of the arm. So my elbows out, my shoulders backing down, trying at least, and then pulsing for 3, 2, and 1. This is where we graduate to add rotation to what we did. So we're adding rotation in the shoulder head, coming back, good. And I'm trying to keep my elbow tapped out to the wall. Instead of tucked in, it's now out. So it's opposite of what we did earlier, tucking our elbow in. The elbow as wide as possible. So it'd be more like a guy push-up instead of tricep chaturanga dip. It's those arms of opening our cross chest and back and reach. And then last one, and these are hard. I'm gonna press out. And then those punches is coming from center. So ribs pulling in, 3, 2, 1, and then return. My arm's literally burning. I'll just shake it out. And so now I'm gonna scoot all the way over to the edge, drop my elbow down, scoop my hips more to be more in a side plank, and then take my foot to strap. Irene, you liked it when the foot was up, so just make sure the hips are flaring open to feel like they're sitting in a chair and pulling up through the waist. And then, or just letting that leg drop. So whichever one, they're both good. I'll do this one, it's what we did in class. Though Irene, you had it the other way. So, trying to get myself more comfortable. So shoulder heads rolled open, chest open. So everything kind of finding space. So shoulders finding space, ears and shoulders, hips stacking, waist lifting, ribs pulling in, right through the center. So stapling those ribs together, pushing out, coming back in. And we'll go out and dragging hip away from ear. And ear away from hip, which means that the waist has to lift up to stabilize those hips and avoiding lilting. So we're gonna go out for 3. I'm already tired. 2, and I'm kind of sad that I'm like baking sweet potatoes right now because it's warm. 1, okay, so I'm gonna reach longer in my strap. And that reach isn't just my foot, it's my hip dropping away from the air, at least it's trying. And I'm gonna pulse up for 3, 2, 1. I'm so tired because we did this, I think I worked with my client this morning, so it's definitely harder. It's always hard is what I'm trying to say. And then reach forward and back. If that strap, like you can use that strap clearing the knee as part of keeping the leg up because they'll wanna kind of just drop down when we get tired. So reach, hey, we're gonna go in the small circles. 3, 2, 1, reaching longer in that strap. 3, 2, 1. These are so ridiculously hard. And then reaching the leg forward, dragging back. My leg is so tired. And dragging back. And then last one, reach and drag back. I have to go the other way. If you ever need a break, then you just drop that leg down, even massage the butt out. Then we're gonna go the other way. So reach. That was my way of giving myself a break. And then last one, We did more in class, but I think we did 4. And then reach. Ugh. Those are hard. Good. And then coming back up. So as far as, so then we did the sit-ups. So the strap goes on the thigh. If you want to be able to feel that, it's only a yellow, so if you want to feel that more, you just scoot more this way so you can feel the cue that that strap's giving to inner thigh. And then really scooting off of the edge. Scoot so much that tailbone can kind of dig into the carpet first, towards the carpet, and flip the legs up. This is such a great view. Sorry. But notice I'm not falling back in the chest, lifting the chest up on a string. And you could do clamshells. We didn't. We just reached the legs out and squeezed in. Okay, I'm trying to keep my feet high enough so that they could hold a balloon the whole time, and my gaze is level. So my gaze is up to the sky, shoulder head stay open. Then last one, there's so much stuff you could do here. So you could do leg circles, circling up and around. You could make them smaller. The key is the carriage doesn't move that much. You could even do little dips, you know, dipping the legs over. So just know there's some option. These feel really good. Like can feels good on the low back because there's kind of a sense of staying in control of the rough armor. So just play around with it because we only did one variation, but you have options. So my heart rate is up. I can feel my chest beating a little bit in my chest. It's from those leg circles or those leg things. And anyways, but I'm gonna move on. So to give a little break, standing at the back edge, I'm really close to the bar, and if you wanna drop the bar to create space, because if you have the flexibility to go further, but try not to dump. So what I mean by dumping is when the weight goes straight to the floor, take your weight across the rim so that we're stretching into the wall to go low and into a front wall to rise back up. So that there's no collapse in the body, it's pulling ribs up and in. And then return. So we just did like 1 or 2. I think we rounded in the spine to come up. I'm doing flat back right now. Just kind of do what feels good, but then when ready, step left foot in and feel square so that there's no collapse of shoulders, leveling off of hips, and we're gonna stretch the leg longer, arms longer, roll the hip open, still stretching those arms longer, close the hip, and just like 3 more of those. So keeping carriage still, flex the foot, point the foot, close, 1 more, open, and I'm trying not to collapse, but really stacking hip bones, keeping shoulders square. It's a deeper stretch across the side of the body, and then closing the hip, pulling belly in, and then return. Okay, so I'm gonna switch sides. Other side, reach, and roll open, letting shoulders level off, ribs pull in, arms reach, return. So you could do things like flex the foot to reach through heels more, point the foot, keeping a push through big toe, but having a neutral foot would work too, which is what we did in class. Then last one. And then return, and then we're gonna just switch side to side. So this is what we did in class because I had you do one leg, and without the carriage moving, do the other leg, and without the carriage moving, then the other leg. And then roll all the way up. Okay, so now we're ready for the other side. We have rotation first. So rotation through shoulder head. It's important to know that even though this shoulder is carrying the strap, both shoulders feel the external rotation to leverage from center. So that's what helps keep those shoulders still and squaring off chest to the wall instead of it turning with the arm. And sitting forward on the sits bones, the reach of the legs down into the floor to feel tall to the ceiling. I'm just gonna do one more. And actually, I'm gonna stop halfway because I mentioned that if for more control, the hand will stop in front of the elbow instead of the belly button. So you could go into a deeper work of control by making a smaller range. And then let's just hold and little pushes for 3, 2, 1. Good. And then return. So awesome that the circle's there because it reminds me to use the back strap in case I forgot that I used the back one. So I'm hooking the strap to the handle and I'm putting the other handle in front of my ribs and I'm peering at this corner. It's just like, oh, that's a corner of the room to turn to. But you could use a wall too. So you'd be like, oh, I want to turn further than whatever. And then twisting to the other side and just kind of reminding that if I pull on the strap, it's easier because that's arms doing the work. So I want to keep the tension where string of pearls is up, 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 up to the sky. And then return, keeping chin off of chest and pulling ribs in. Wringing out the waist. Using those knees out. Oh, my dog's gotten in my garbage. And 2 more. And last one. Okay, I'm gonna hold here. And first, just feeling that I can feel my breath, because that's gonna make me come from a deeper, stronger place. And then little pulses, using the breath, emptying. So emptying the belly to pulse for 3, elbows float. 2, this side's way harder for me. My hip wants to just pop out. And 1, and then return. So, trading straps. Only if you want to, the circle here. Don't do it if the shoulder's popping up in the air. And so here, like if my shoulder looks like this, I definitely shouldn't do it because I need to be able to roll shoulder back and down, flip the elbow up and not collapse into left hip, but anchor through right hip, squeezing leg so that left thigh is squeezing into right. And then reaching up, 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 and return. Elbow aiming up, and then elbow keeps aiming up, up, up to help roll shoulder heads open. Do 2 more. And then last one. Remember that the pulses aren't a pull the strap, but a reach through the strap. 3, 2, 1. You could add pulses with the handle or with that circle. I'm not. I don't think it's necessary. I feel like I already got the work. Again, just remember to drop that right hip down and it pulls up the left waist. Press through the hand, it opens up the shoulder. And elbow aims up so that that elbow feels hung by the ceiling, like we're on a string. And then reach up. We'll do 2 more. And this is just a deeper side bend. It's not worth it if it's collapsing into shoulder. It's only worth it if that waist is lifting up and right hip's down. And last one. So bigger isn't always better. And then we'll return. My nose is all ready. It's from surfing the other day. It's like coming up. All right, so that Popeye. So the breath is right in our bra strap. So we're gonna breathe into a bra, fill that up, and then return. So every time that pull, keeping that bra strap full of breath. And we have 2 more. Remember, just like the other one, this is a bigger range to go. Let's say it's a count of 4. So opening 1, 2, 3, 4, closing 1, 2, 3, 4. But if I make it smaller, 1, 2, 1, 2, it's more control. So kind of play around with it so that you're working the right muscles. They should feel similar as far as turning on those stabilizing muscles, rolling shoulder heads back and down. And then we're gonna reach all the way out. Elbow is trying to tap a wall. Elbow taps the wall, rotate open. elbow tops the wall, right turn. So chest is really open. Think of how push-ups feel when elbows are out. That's kind of what we're working on, is keeping that chest open. Okay, so then I'm gonna scoot over, drop the elbow down, put the foot into the strap, and scoot the hips more, and let this bottom leg hang, or sneak it up. I personally like the hanging one, but do whichever. And then float this up as much as possible, letting the waist lift and the chest roll open. So, and I feel stronger on this side. It might be because I didn't do this side. Oh, actually I did do this side. So I really am stronger on this side. So that's just how our body is one side can be a lot stronger than the other. I'm gonna do one more. I'm trying to reach beyond the strap. And then little lifts up for 5, 4, picking up ribs, 3, 2, 1. Then stretching the strap forward, booty sticking back, and then reaching back. Stretch, and then reaching crown of the head is what helps glide that carriage. Do 2 more. Even the chest opening up and shoulders feeling broad to glide. And then last one, and then I'm gonna bend, reach out, sweep, bend, reach, sweep, and then other way. Reach, tuck into a ball, reach out, and then return. I'm trying to kick towards my nose with top of the foot. And then last one, oh my goodness, it's burning. So the pain is real in small circles. 3, and I'm starting to collapse. So that's where I have to tell myself, don't. And then other way, 3, 2, 1. And honestly, I was probably collapsing the whole time. But at least be in the effort of not, because someday we'll get there. And then, so now the strap goes on the leg. This is a good chance to see what's happening. The other one was really a terrible view, but I scoot far enough forward to put elbows down, and I'm not letting myself fall back too quick, kind of pulling that chest up, dropping the shoulders down. So opening up through the chest, pulling in ribs to anchor belly basically. And you could do palms up. Just make sure the rotation's in the shoulder, and then reaching straight up and return. Kind of making sure the legs are not veering towards the strap. So, and then last one. And remember, you could add stuff like open, close, you could do circles. Again, this side just feels weaker. So what I'm finding out about myself is that my left inner thigh is a lot weaker. So just good to know, because this side feels very weak, just kind of doing this. So, so it's just good to know. And then last one. And how I can tell was when my foot pushed out, it wanted to like be taken away by the strap, meaning go to the left. So it's just good to find out those things about our body. So now traveling to the back of the reformer again. What I'll do is I'll tip this, because we've been doing some leg choreography, so I'm just gonna make this show, adjusting a basket behind this cell phone. Just show what the legs are doing when that happens. So, and probably you didn't see it on the other side, which is no big deal. So with this, we're just alternating. So I want my chest to stay square, my shoulders broad, and to stretch. Reach one leg up, roll open, roll down, wait for the foot. I already tried to rush, and roll up vertebra by vertebra. And then send the carriage out, chest square, shoulders broad, tailbone stretches, lift, roll. My shoulder wants to roll open, so avoiding that. Close, keeping that reach, set foot down, and then roll up. So the key is not putting them together, but separating the small differences. And, sorry, I'm glancing at my dog. He's eating, like I said, he got into the garbage. Yeah, he really did. Okay, so again, reach, lift, roll, return, and roll it. I'm gonna go a little bit faster, but hopefully not blend it all together. So reach, lift, roll the hip, keep shoulder chest square, roll the hip, keep the reach, set the foot down, keep the reach, roll up, and then last one. Reach, lift, roll, square, and set foot down and roll up. So rounding through the spine, chin tucks in, chest moves forward to lift the chin, still scooting the box out, bowing the chin and pulling the ribs in. Chin bowing into chest, chest moving forward to pick up the chin, chin bowing into chest, pulling the ribs in to move the box in. Ribs still pulling in, and then chest moving forward to lift chin, chin bowing in, ribs pulling in, and then last one, chin bowing into chest, heart moving forward to lift up the chin, trying to avoid, see how that can drop. Keep the reach forward, and then roll down and come in. Whew. All right, so I'm gonna add a blue to the yellow, sit at the front, and actually, I think I'll just do one blue. Kind of depends what you want for chest expansion. We did blue, yellow, but sometimes I like the lighter one. So tailbone slides under, open across the fronts of the hips and really release inner thighs to release insides of the feet, and then return. And then gaze staying level so that head could balance cup of water. And then return. I'm just gonna do one. So I'm pretty much going to where sacrum can tap the box and broaden and go heavy and broad breathe. And then return. And then last one. Okay, if you wanted to, you could do little pulses. You could float one leg tabletop, other leg. Like there's a lot of stuff you could do. And then roll up. I'm gonna scoot back just a little bit so that shoulders can go right. Actually, I scooted too far. Yeah, that's where I like it, because shoulders, getting enough support to be open to rest the head back, and then bowing the chin into chest. So this is opposite. It's what we just did standing a second ago. So remember that chest moves the chin off of it, and then chin bows into chest and ribs pull in. Then we come up, so belly squeezes off of knees. Chest moves the chin off of it, chin bows in, and ribs pull in to come back up. And arms are straight the whole time. You could do all of this with a leg and tabletop. You could reach your leg up. You could keep that leg up. You could climb the chest up the leg. Try to sit forward on the sit spot. So lots of options. And then going into chest expansion. So rolling chest and shoulders open, reaching back. I don't want to just pull with my arms. In fact, avoiding the pull with my arms, just reaching long as ribs pull in, then keeping those ribs in. Ribs pulling in, and then return. So that's where the lighter spring's really helpful, is for that, to really make sure it's not just arms powering through. And last one, we're gonna do little pulses. 3, 2, kind of avoiding the drop of the carriage, 1, and then return. So we did lots of rounded spine, which was that tucking of the tailbone. Now, flat back, and tipping flat as a board. So I don't go as low as I can because my hips start to tuck. So I guess I can't because that's the whole point, my hips are tucking. So only going as far as stretch strap and tailbone stretches, and then return. So we feel a stretch of our straps as tailbone stretches, a stretch of our straps as tailbone stretches more. And then last one. And then stretching those straps more as reaching, reaching, reaching. I'm gonna do 4 more. 4. And the angle of the straps is the angle of the spine. 3, 2, and 1. And little pulses. 1, 2, 3, all the way out. 1, 2, 3, all the way out. Last one. 1, 2, 3, all the way out. Whew. We did kind of different in class because we came back, we kind of took breaks. So again, you can switch it around. So now that we're done with that, I'm gonna take the box off and we're pretty much done with class. So since yeah, I'll put it back here. Oh, so this is what we're gonna do next. Actually, don't take the box off. I didn't get this in class, but I meant to. So stepping, taking the spring off, and here, just I have this thing called bed of nails. It's acupuncture. You could do a lot of stuff with your feet, so I'll just keep it down there, just an idea that if you address your feet, you address everything. So arms breathe into the box so that the box feels breathed down into the floor. So right now I could pretend that the box is a balloon and that I fill it up, like there's that push, like to connect breath to the arms is really important so that we're pushing the box into the floor out of breath, and the box itself feels like a Bosu or inflatable. So I'm gonna send that carriage out, which means I went on my tippy toes, and just pushing into that box like it's inflatable so that the arms expanding from breath is the press down into the box, and then return. I know a lot of people are fans of this. That doesn't feel good on my shoulders personally. I've always kind of hated that posture, and maybe it's because my shoulder heads, but this feels better for me, so it's what I'm gonna do. But you can switch it up, and sometimes I do just to make sure I can do both. But this one I feel way more connected to like what feels organic, and it just feels better. So pressing down, and then breathing those arms down, down, down. So that box, if it were a Bosu, all the air would be pushed. And then reaching out, rolling onto the balls of the feet, breathing that box into the floor as belly squeezes in. A lot of this is footwork because it's tippy toe, arch of the foot, then arch of the foot to keep the heel up, arch of the foot to land the heel down. Okay, I'm gonna make this the last one. And then holding the plank. And those arch of the feet are still active. 3, 2, 1. And then return. These are hard, FYI. And then go out. And still breathing down into the box to tap the elbows in. 5. I want to squish the box. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then come all the way in. Good. And my battery is shutting down, so I'll just click that. And I think that's still recording. Yep, we're almost to an hour. So right now it says 40 minutes. So we're done with the box now. And the end is really simple because basically I just wanted us to touch bases with things that felt good and familiar. So we went 1 red, and you could do blue. Lunge stretch, kind of hang out there for a while, making sure belly's not sagging. And then come back in when you're ready. Lunge, split, lunge, come back up, and then just 2, 3 more. I'm gonna just do 1 more. And kind of feeling that contrast, making the way over. And again, if you have time for more stuff, do more stuff. Lunge, straight, lunge, come back in, low, still breathing into back, breathe more into back, come back in, fill up the back with breath, so shoulders and neck feel open, and we'll come all the way in, and then I'm going to add a glue to go feet in straps, and grab a little disc, lay onto back, and again, if you have more time for more stuff, do more stuff. So just laying onto back and putting that disc underneath the sacrum for something to balance onto, and then first feeling that width across chest and shoulder, pulling the ribs in so it's not a splitting of the ribs and drawing belly in, and then sending that carriage out, and then coming back in, tailbone heavy. So we mentioned sitting bones open. They open even before the legs bend. And then stay open at the very tippy end, they squeeze. So opening sitting bones right away, keeping them open, and at the very tippy end squeezing, and then open right away. All right, so I'm gonna take straight legs up and down. And same thing where sitting bones open even before carriage moves, and then keeping open while carriage moves, and then squeeze to reach longer. And then last one, you could do as many as you want. I'm just kind of feeling like these are redundant. We know what to do, it's just doing them. Inhale, reaching up, 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 squeeze together, then return, reaching up, 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 squeeze, and return. I like to emphasize the up so there's no big pull down on the strap. And these feel amazing. And last one. Good. Maybe finishing with a nice little butterfly. Rock side to side. Good. I'm going to take that disc out. Good. And then a little stretch. Hips down, trying to feel a straight line through the body. Opening through the front of the hip. And then sneaking that leg down. Leveling off so I don't want my hips crooked. Leveling off, using the reformer to find straight. And return. All right, so I'm gonna call that done. Again, there's so much you could do. Obviously, we're on our back. You could go bridging. You could do, all the mid-back series. But that's an hour of class. So thank you so much. Have a great day.